everybody, this is Eric Brown, Beverly Hills real estate agent, bringing you, as always, the best of LA, where we share the best and brightest that Los Angeles has to offer. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Mona Elhalwagy of Forbix, and we're going to talk to you today about kind of what is happening in the world of interest rates and inflation and recession, and what does this all mean if you're thinking about buying or refinancing a house at any point. So Mona, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. So I always love to begin. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about Forbix.
So I've been in the industry for a really long time, probably close to like 20 years. God, time goes by fast to think about it, honestly. And it's interesting because I got into this. I thought it was going to be very temporary, because I needed something flexible to do in the day with flexible hours, because I went to law school at night. So I worked in the day during lending, and then I went to Loyola Law in downtown LA at night. And then when I graduated, I stuck in lending because I liked it. And so eventually I went back to take the bar. I mean, I can say I'm a member of the California bar, and I'm proud of that, although, I'm inactive because I don't practice. But I stayed in lending, and the company that I work for is called Forbix. I feel like I know actually that we're very unique. And the reason is because we do residential lending, and on the residential side, we do the regular Fannie, Freddie loans, right? But we also have a lot of niche products, otherwise known as non-QM, which is like bank statements, some stated income deals, asset depletion, where we look at assets in the bank, non-warrantable condos, foreign nationals, like it runs the gamut. And so we do that. And then we also have, we do a lot of private money, both in California and nationwide. We do commercial loans nationwide for acquisition, bridge, people buying apartment buildings or commercial, buildings and buying them, rehabbing them. We also do construction loans nationwide. And in addition to all of that, we also develop properties. So we've developed probably more than 1,000 units nationwide, and that gives us the ability to look at deals as not just a lender, but also as an investor. So it gives us a unique perspective. So at one point I used to say, we're a lender, broker, and now I can honestly say we're a real estate company, because all avenues of real estate, we're touching in some way.
You and I had talked about that a bit offline, and this idea of, from a financing perspective, being able to one-stop shop over so many things in one place, and to have not only a point professional like yourself, who's been doing this now for, like you and I both said, for a couple of decades, but also being able to have a team to be able to assist in the various pieces. I just think that's an amazing advantage for someone that chooses to work with a company like yours.
We're passionate about it. We really are. I mean, I feel like that we're the type of company where we take what we do very seriously. We're passionate about it. We like to find solutions for clients, but at the same time, we're a fun bunch. Everybody I work with has a sense of humor. We're all making fun of ourselves. Like we're good with that. I don't know, and I think that's what makes it fun. You have to enjoy what you do, and you have to enjoy the people that you work with.
Well, I'm going to ask the question that I'm sure you get asked and I get asked all the time, and I would guess that the viewers that watch this are interested in what's going to happen. So we've got rising interest rates that have now gone up 4 times this year. As we go into next year, what are you predicting? Not only what happens in the world of interest and mortgage, but how does that affect housing and property overall? And take this any way that you'd like.
Oh, God. If someone, actually at the beginning of this year, somebody did tell me that the rates are going to be in the 7s by the end of the year. And I said, there's no way that's going to happen. Are you kidding me? And here we are. And so I was 100% wrong. So with that being said, what do I think is going to happen? I think that they might go up a little bit more, or maybe they're going to plateau. I don't think they're going to go down. within the next year, but who knows? I could be completely wrong, right? I mean, what's to tell? I do think that the values are going to start decreasing. And I have a feeling you're going to see a lot more apartment sales.
Wow.
And yeah, and the reason for that is because usually when lenders give a loan on an apartment building, the property itself has to debt service. So meaning they look at the income, and based on the income, like the net operating income, like let's just pretend the net operating income is about 12,500, and I'm just throwing out like round numbers. They want to make sure that your loan is no more than $10,000, right? So the thing is if your interest rate was 3.5, maybe you could cash flow for a substantial loan amount, right? But if that loan is going to adjust today, because apartment loans are good for usually 5, 7, or 10 years, and if that loan is going to go up to 4.5 or maybe 5, the profit margin is going to squeeze. And then, I feel like the owners are probably going to say, you know what, I'm out, I'm not interested, and you're going to see sales. But with that being said, one thing I did want to mention that I didn't mention before is that we are direct lenders for HUD apartment loans. And a lot of people don't know that HUD will lend on large apartment buildings. But the cool thing about that is if you do a refi, the rate's fixed for 35 years. So it's not going to balloon or adjust like all the other loans. And if it's a construction loan, it's interest only, and then it converts to a 40-year loan. So you're not dealing with the interest rate fluctuations. I have a feeling there's going to be, I have a feeling more investors are going to use that loan just because of certainty of execution. They know where the rate is going to be, that kind of thing. But I think there's going to be a dip. But the way I see it is this: if we rebounded from 08, we'll rebound from anything. And at the end of the day, real estate is a good investment. I always tell people, they'll say, well, when's a good time to buy? I'm like, no one knows when it's a good time to buy. You never know when it's the lowest end of the market with the lowest interest rate. You know what I mean? Like, no one knows. But what I always tell them is this, is if you like the house, if it's a place that you want to live in, if you can afford the payment, go for it. Because even if the values go down, it's going to go back up again at some point.
I think that's a really fair way to look at it. And I've been saying, look, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody's Nostradamus.
Right.
So who predicted COVID-19? Nobody.
Right.
So we can.
Not me.
And what that did to the economy and the market, right? So for some businesses, it killed them. For other businesses, it made them flourish. So I think that you're right to say nobody has projections, but it's nice to be able to know that you can go to a pro like yourself and be able to ask those hard questions. If you're an investment property owner, if you're a single family owner, or you're looking at establishing your portfolio or downsizing your portfolio. This actually segues kind of well into a follow-up question of Forbix and your team, the fact that you can lend nationwide. Any big goals as we roll into next year that you or the company wants to accomplish?
For me, what is it that I want to do? Well, first, wait, let me clarify. We do residential loans only in California, but we do commercial nationwide, or I should say in most states. What are my goals? I want to reach out to more owners, and let them know that lending is still possible, that lending is out there. Because it's easy to get wrapped up and then, the lenders are restricting their guidelines and it's harder and this and that. And that might be true, to a certain extent, but I want them to know that there's still options and there's still opportunity. And I would love to be there, to help them find those options and opportunity, whatever, works best for their situation. And I for me, it would be outreach. More outreach for people who I feel perhaps have a loan that's about to balloon or adjust, or something like that. The folks that really need help with their financing.
Yeah, I think that's great. The more that you can get the message out there, especially because, as you had mentioned earlier, all of the unique things that Forbix does, the team, the expertise, the a la carte services, I think that's all really great. Is there if you were to give a billboard, a big message that you wanted to share with folks that might have any type of financing questions, what might be something that that would say or something that you would share?
You know, off the cuff, I can't think of anything, but I feel that me personally, my message is I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing their situation, especially when it comes around real estate, what their financial situation is and what their goal is or what their goals are, and to see how I can help them. So whatever would be the best way for me to say all of that is is what I would say on a billboard, because I feel like everybody has a story, and you have to, you have to reach out and you really have to understand the story to understand how to approach the loans and the financial options and things like that. And sometimes it could be like, hey, sell, maybe you can't afford the payment and that's the best thing for you, but other times it could be, oh look, you have a portfolio, maybe we can take some money from this property and put it into this property and restructure things. And that's what I enjoy.
Well, you're such a pro. You and I had connected offline through an entirely different niche.
Yeah.
Still in this world, but what it makes me think of is what you just described about this idea of everyone has a story, and each person's story or each business's story is kind of like a puzzle, and you and your world helps put that financial puzzle together for them to make them shine or be in their best possible light. And to do that spread across different niches, commercial, residential, we had connected through couples that are going through a transition or divorce. And all of these different puzzles that require a different skill set. The fact that you can do all of those things is pretty amazing.
Thank you. I mean, I enjoy it.
Of course. Any last parting words? Is there a question that I didn't ask or something that we should go over that you feel like that we should share?
I'll probably think about it 4 hours. We click off. I think that's how things work.
That's the way it works. Well, I'll make a point of popping up your contact information on screen. Anyone, if you have questions about all things financing, I highly encourage you to talk to Mona. Reach out to her team at Forbix. Mona, it was great as always to chat with you.
No, thank you for being on. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure is mine. As always, guys, Eric Brown, your Beverly Hills real estate agent, signing off for the day.
Take care. Bye.